Welcome back to the Realm Report. It's been a busy month with a lot of unique things happening all around the old world. With that said, let's jump right into the topics. The end of March saw the conclusion of the skyscraper build competition over in New Canaan. It was pretty impressive to see these massive builds shoot up over the course of the past 2 months. This was the longest running build competition we've ever held up until this point, so if you liked having the additional time, it's definitely something we can take into consideration moving forward. New Canaan is handling the voting process within their own community, so there are no results to share at this time, but we should hear back about that sometime in April, at which point the winner will receive their prize. As I mentioned last month, we'll be taking some time off from build competitions for 1 or 2 months. We've held several back-to-back, and I think it might be a good time to give everyone a break before the next one. However, if you have ideas for one you'd like to host at some point in the future, you can still send them my way. Millionaire businessman, philanthropist, and former lottery operator Black Lightning began his new career as a game show host this month. On March 3rd, he hosted the first episode of his new series, This or That. The show revolves around having Oldies open a set of numbered shulker boxes, with each one containing a different amount of gems. The value of each shulker are known at the start of the game, but the specific location of any box is unknown to the person playing. Red Dead Sloth was the first contestant to appear on the show, and she ended up walking away with 500 gems. If you're interested in being on the show yourself and potentially winning up to 10,000 gems, appearances are handled in the form of a raffle. Basically, you throw your name in a chest located in the lobby of Lightning Corp, and if selected, you'll appear on an upcoming episode. Black will also work with you to determine the best time for your appearance. We know that availability varies from person to person, and he wants to give everyone an equal chance to participate regardless of time zone. This is a really fun idea, and I'll be looking forward to seeing where it goes from here, as well as seeing which oldie will be the first to win the 10,000 gems. Earlier in the month, we held our second picture day over at the Photo Lounge. The last time we did this was back in July of 2022, and it was a good opportunity to get a lot of outdated photos on the wiki updated all at once. This was a very casual thing that ran for only about a half hour, with oldies being able to stop by and quickly have their photo taken. I then worked on not only getting those photos added to the wiki, but updating existing photos with new custom backgrounds representative of each oldie's primary allegiance. So if you missed Picture Day but still need an updated photo for your profile, it's never too late to do so. Just reach out to either myself or RescueLynn, and we can get that taken care of. Now that it's March, it means that it's officially Swimball season. In an effort to test out some of the new rules, Wrath of Khan hosted a scrimmage match in Acadian at the start of the month. This was a really good chance to see how the format changes would impact an official game. And as someone who played all of last season, there was definitely a noticeable difference in terms of the strategy on both the offensive and defensive side. One other thing we noticed was that the 4-minute quarters made the game feel very rushed, so Half-Assed Guy decided to drop that in favor of 2 halves, but extending them to 8 minutes apiece. The first official game held this month was a rematch between the 2023 Steve Cup champion Capital Creepers and the Acadian Blaze. Before the match, the Creepers hung their championship banner at Finders Creepers Arena. These are something that will be awarded to each championship team at the start of the season to represent that team having been the best in the league for the previous year. The game itself was very close, with the Creepers playing mostly defensively throughout the 16 minutes. Tum scored the only goal of the game, leading to the Blaze winning 1-0. On March 10th, an auction was held on Centerpoint Island in the Archipelago. Willow had built an auction house specifically for the community, so it was a great opportunity for us to put it to use. This auction was solely for abandoned islands that had been vacated following the world merge. All throughout last month, there were a few people who reached out to me with interest in some of these islands, but I wanted to hold off for a little bit and give the former occupants some time to return to the server, just in case they chose to do so. Prior to the auction, Willow took the time to visit the islands and compile some notes on each one of them. From there, we determined a starting bid based on different factors. Each island was successfully auctioned off to new owners, and a few have already undergone significant changes since the auction was held, so thanks to everyone who participated in the auction. This month's photo contest theme was Reimagine. The objective for this was to take an existing Minecraft painting and sort of reinterpret it in your own way. It was definitely the most unique one so far because it really required people to get creative and think outside the box. I ended up winning this one with my interpretation of the painting Pointer, so thanks to Willow for assisting with getting that taken. Just a reminder for any previous photo contest winners to occasionally stop by the gallery to check your earnings, as you would if it was your own shop. And to those purchasing photos, if you're picking up multiple copies, be sure to add your name to the corresponding book more than once, as it helps us keep track of how many photos should be out there. Following last month's controversial Yacht Club drawing, someone immediately outbid me on my usual number 3. Since I have absolutely no faith in Princess handling this thing honestly, this time I sent my private investigator to the Yacht Club to make sure there was nothing strange going on. As expected, shortly before pulling the winning number, Princess was spotted disposing of my ticket and possibly robbing me of my 3rd victory. Fortunately, the number selected didn't belong to anyone, which means next month I'll have 2 potential chances to win. The more oldies who participate, the more someone stands to win, so be sure to pick up a ticket for April. On March 10th, we held another TOW tour. This was the second of 2 qualifying matches in the lead up to the Old World Open 2024 that'll be taking place in July. Being a qualifying match, it was open to both veteran Ender golfers and newcomers alike. This was also the largest Ender Golf event we've held so far, with 12 oldies completing the course. That contributed to it also being the longest event we've ever held at nearly 3.5 hours. A suggestion was made that we split these events into 2 separate groups, with one group starting on the 1st hole and another group starting on the 6th. It's definitely something to consider for future TOW tours if we end up having a lot of players again. As for the event itself, Black Lightning claimed 1st place for his 2nd TOW tour in a row. This makes him the frontrunner heading into the Old World Open 2024, which he previously won in 2023. I've already reviewed the results from these last 2 tours and reached out to those who qualified for the Old World Open, and as you can see, it's looking to be a really close matchup. But regardless of if you qualified or not, I hope you'll still take the time to join us at the golf course in July to see who will win the coveted Yellow Jacket. On March 24th, we held our 3rd Withering event over at the Dome. Heading into this one, we had a smaller group than the previous 2, and since it had seemed like we'd have more people, the map was filled with 18 withers prior to the event. I was a little concerned heading into it, but luckily we managed to coordinate pretty well, and this ended up being the first Withering in which everybody survived, thanks to everyone who joined us for the Withering. Of course, not everyone was thrilled about a Withering being held at the Dome. As mayor of the area, Upton protested for several weeks beforehand, and ultimately chose not to participate. However, he did hop on after the battle to survey the destruction and see it with his own eyes. He's back with us again to share a few words on how the Dome plans to move forward from here. Next month, we'll be holding the Archipelago Grand Prix 2024. The racetrack we'll be using for this one is actually Cuttlefish Cove, which was previously located over at the Aquarius. This is a really amazing looking racetrack that was built by Chozo, and this will be our 2nd time using it for an event. So join us for the Archipelago Grand Prix 2024 when it's held on April 7th. 1 week after the Grand Prix, we'll be returning to the Archipelago to try out a new game by Red Dead Sloth that she's calling Rabbit Ropin'. Unsurprisingly, the objective of this event will be to rope rabbits. This is definitely something different from other events we've held in the past, and we're still trying to iron out the logistics of how it'll work. We'll probably be needing people to assist with some testing at some point over the next 2 weeks, so let me know if you'd be interested in doing that. But I hope you'll join us for Rabbit Ropin' on April 14th. And that wraps things up for this edition of the Realm Report. See you on the server. I don't know if somebody wants to pick up that cobblestone that just got thrown on the ground. What?
What the hell?
Somebody just spawned in a wither.
Thought you were floating chemical.
Oh jeez, oh jeez.
Run!
Oh jeez. Oh jeez.
Oh my god.